Celebrity Apprentice has come to an end. Matt Eisen won. It came down to him and Boy George in the finals. And so now, Joel, for the first time, we can talk about anything. We can reveal anything, talk about anything. The show is done. The gag order is released. I'll tell you this. So here's how this all worked. We stayed at a hotel in Marina Del Rey. And when the show started, they would not tell us anything. We knew a lot about the rules and stuff because you'd watched other seasons, but they told us nothing, including who the fellow castmates were. And they brought us to the very bottom, the basement of the hotel where there was a bar. They had a social the night before filming started. Started on Monday. So this would be a Sunday night. We all go in, and that's where everybody walks in, and you're introduced to the rest of the cast. When I got done, I go back upstairs to the room, and Miss Brittany asked me, what'd you think? And I said, well, we got a problem. And she says, what's that? And I said, his name's Matt Eisen. Matt was a Princeton graduate. He went on and got an MD. He walked away from it all to go to Hollywood and try his hand at stand-up, where he made it, and is now the host of American Ninja Warrior. So the guy on paper is brilliant. He's also handsome. He's also charming and charismatic. He's also nice. He's a nice guy. And I just knew, look, we're all playing for second. As soon as you go around the room, you're looking at the drunks in the room, you're looking at the crackheads in the room, you're looking at a bunch of idiots, but you're also sizing up who the players are. And I knew right away, this guy's a problem. We need to chop his head off. This guy needs to be set up right out of the gate and sent home before he builds momentum, or he's going to win the show. And, he asked me, he and I became pretty good friends. He asked me, hey, what's your strategy of this thing? And I told him my number one strategy right now is to get rid of you. And he laughed and he said, yeah, I kind of figured that. And I said, yeah, man, you seem to me to be the real deal. Might as well get rid of you sooner than later. It's a game, and he understood that. And everybody there had a strategy. Ricky Williams had one, Layla had one, Lisa had one, I had one. Everybody had a strategy, and you kind of talk to each other and learn what people's strategies are. Matt also had a strategy, but his strategy was to work really hard and win every task. He was a guy, though, that could come in without a character or a gimmick and just be himself. He was that skilled. He was just that good, of a leader, of a follower, of a task manager, of an organizer. He had high energy. He was up early. He was in bed late, and he really wanted to win. He really felt it in his belly. He knew, hey, this is my opportunity. And as great as he's done, from getting the degree from Princeton, going on becoming an MD, trying his hand at stand-up and making it, and getting all the way to being on the desk for American Ninja Warrior, he was the least known guy in this process. And he really needed this, but he also really wanted it. And whatever served to his motivation, who gives a damn? The bottom line is he had it. And he was absolutely the right pick. I had a day where I was going to chop his head off. My plan had come to fruition, and Matt is going home. And Matt was so good, I couldn't do it. And I'm a competitor. I'll chop a guy's head off. That's what the game is, right? I couldn't do it. We got in the boardroom, and it was just a matter of, listen, this guy delivered. He was honest. He was trustworthy. He was there for the betterment of the team, which benefits himself. I'm going to have to get him tomorrow or next week or the next time, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. He was that valuable. He was that special of a talent. And when it came down to the finals, particularly when you understand that he is the least known guy, you would get better traction saying Boy George won it. Put that on the press releases, put that recognizable face out there. I thought there could be some politics that came into play. I was very happy and refreshed to see that there weren't. It went to the right guy.
Let me ask you a question. Would you do that again?
It was so much fun. It was absolutely so much fun. When you think of the games that you've played in your life, games that you had a great time, most of them were free. Most of them, you'll go back to your childhood and think of a game of tag that you and some friends went outside and played. Or, a game of hide and seek inside. How much fun. Remember hide and seek? How much fun was that? These games were free. As you become an adult, you start to play games that cost a little more money. Maybe you pick up a game of golf, or you belong to a basketball or a volleyball group or a softball team in your neighborhood. You start, you throw a few bucks down and you play. Think of all the fun times you had.
You know how I played hide and seek when I was a kid?
Tell me.
I'd leave my house and go hide in somebody else's house that had heat.
Would they ever find you?
Yeah, then they send me back to the place with no heat.
So anyway, you think about the fun that you had playing some of those games. This game cost $10 million to play. So, you asked me would I do it again? Well, yeah, you have to. You can't go out and duplicate that anywhere else in the world. It's a $10 million production, and it's a game. So, yeah, it was completely fun. I love the strategies. I love the ins and outs. I love to look back when things were done and go, oh, could have done this, should have done that. And that's everything in life. And when you enjoy something, that's when you think about what would have I done different. If you didn't enjoy something, you don't care. You don't care if I would have done it different. I thought it was a ton of fun. And, yeah, man, the answer is yes.
Do you know how I played tag when I was a kid?
No, how?
I'd go to somebody's house that had food, and I'd sit down at their table and say, tag, feed me.
And did they?
It's a joke.
It's not funny.
I think it is.
Really?
Yeah. He laughed. Jacob laughed.
I didn't
There's two people in here, and one of them laughed.
I just didn't
get it. So if there's 1 million people in the crowd, 500,000 people would have laughed at my joke.
I mean, I think the delivery was okay at best, and the material just wasn't there. So what do? I'm getting the feeling as I'm talking about Celebrity Apprentice, though, I'm getting the feeling that you didn't watch the show because you're not really giving me much feedback. I'm telling you, now's your time. Ask me anything, I'll tell you. And you're standing there telling made-up stories about tag and hide and seek. So you didn't watch the show?
No. I watched 3 episodes.
All right, fair enough. I'll tell you, it was not the ratings boom that they wanted it to be, but it was far from a failure. For example, the smallest show that they did was a 4.9. The highest show that they did was a 5.3. Anywhere around that 5 million mark, you've got a marketable product. And so I think that it will move forward. I think that it will live on. The one problem you have with doing Celebrity Apprentice is it isn't real. And by that, what I mean is when The Apprentice started, they didn't bring in celebrities. Nobody knew who it was they were watching. However, there was a compelling storyline that this actually is a job interview. If you win this, you are getting a contract. You are going to Trump Tower. You will be put on assignment. You will be mentored by Donald Trump, and it was real. In this, it was very clear that it was for fun. It was a ratings boost, and I think that takes away from it. I've always had that same complaint with The Ultimate Fighter. You go into The Ultimate Fighter, product that you and I both enjoy, but the one problem they have, and I only think they have one, but the one problem they have, they put you in teams right out of the gate, but it's not real. If one team starts cleaning up the other team, and now you don't have workout partners, and they just switch guys. They just throw a new jersey on them and stick them over there. So, and then one guy's left standing, even if you got to fight each other. So there isn't really teams. And I don't know how to get around that. I don't know what you do unless you want to just go, look, there are no teams. Here's the workout times. Come in and do it, but here's the bracket. Because what it is a bracketed tournament where one guy's left standing. If one guy's left standing, then the team concept is out the window right from the very beginning. So I think that is an important element to have, but sometimes whether you're talking tough or you're talking Celebrity Apprentice, sometimes you just can't do both. You can't bring in those guys, have a team atmosphere, and really have it be a team when one person is left standing. So I think that might have hurt just slightly. The fact that Trump was actually hiring and all Schwarzenegger was able to do was fire. I think maybe he got put at a little bit of a disadvantage there. I think that's a fair assessment by me.